vamos a hacer es un ritual.
Happy holidays! I've got a gift for you. Buy 4 tarot readings or coaching session gift codes in any combination, and you'll receive 2 additional gift codes too. So use all 6 codes for yourself or share them with friends and family as holiday gifts, stocking stuffers, or maybe even birthday presents. These don't expire, so you can feel free to use them and share them throughout the year. Merry Christmas, and thank you so much for being my friends. Hi there, Taurus. This is your weekly reading for the week of December 21st. How are you doing? Happy holidays. I'm going to wish you a Merry Christmas here. It's going to be wonderful this year for you. I think you're going to enjoy it, and this will be a memorable holiday for all the right reasons. On Monday, the card that you've drawn is the Devil card. So this is just a card that indicates you need to just watch those inclinations to get a little stubborn or to not want to bend or give a little, because you could get a little stressed out like anyone else can and feel that you're up against a wall or that you're not sure why you're feeling so stressed out. But you could say, that's it, I'm not dealing with this. And that would probably be the worst way to use this kind of energy. Monday's Devil card coincides with the Mercury in Capricorn, which is your solar 9th house of spirituality and seeing the bigger picture, religion, at times legal issues if those are present, and a lot of other good and interesting things here. The 9th house is a kind of learning house, and so there could be an element of needing to just kind of put into practice so many pieces of good advice that you've given other people throughout the years. This sextile to Chiron in Pisces, your solar 11th house, could help you make good decisions about what to talk about and what not to talk about, right? Some of the things that we know are inherently tattoos too, inherently taboo tattoos. And so maybe don't discuss tattoos. Maybe that was a Freudian slip. But, politics are never going to be pleasant at a dinner table in polite conversation. And religion might as well just be as bad. So I think that while the world stage plays out the obvious, that we're beyond all this bullshit and that it's all about love and accepting each other, maybe you have to accept that some of your friends are going to say things that you wish you could reprimand on the spot. Maybe you'd like to reach across the table and shove a roll in somebody's mouth to get them to not say the T word. That's my Donald Trump thing, because he's such a freaking idiot. Hey, look, we're not at dinner, but you know what I'm saying. So this is one of those situations where you might just have to kind of accept that people don't think the way you do and that they don't have to think the way you do. Nobody has to think in any way in particular. Most of us are blessed to live in countries where we can think what we want to, do it if we want, not think at all, go to prison, but the whole way you can be expressing your freedom of speech, freedom of religion, or to have none. So there might be a need to just temper that. The sun will be moving into Capricorn here on this day, again, that 9th house, and there could be some real interesting lessons for you where you sit with somebody that you think you're going to have to squash like a bug on the way out. And then you figure out that in their words, you have found some higher meaning that helps you make more sense of what the bigger picture is. That even Saturn's rules and regulations and old guard attitude in the ninth house doesn't have to be completely discarded. It just needs to be morphed and brought into a current, more appropriate, if not workable stage. You know, sometimes we have to fight our own generational conditioning, or we were conditioned by a generation of people like me, where we have heard such bullshit that was relevant for a period of time, and then we realize, yeah, but it doesn't apply anymore. And you see that your own parents are stuck in what looks like a time loop. They can't get out of it. I've shared conversations that I've had with my family with you guys so that you see, look, I'm only first generation born here. And I've had to ensure that my children don't become conditioned by any of my conditioning that was so difficult to get rid of. You know, some of the conditioning went all the way through to, you know, today, almost 50 years old, where I had a conversation with my mother this year, like, why did you say, I think you guys remember me telling you that story. Why did you say I needed to look for a husband? You should have been saying, Rita, you don't need anybody. You don't need a husband. Have one if you want. Test drive 500 of them. If you don't need anyone, then you know you can go do what you want. She couldn't help it. She was raised the same way. So remember that the ninth house is an excellent place to have stimulated at a time when we have to bump into relatives. Hopefully you don't have to bump into too many, right? The sun in Capricorn there will help us understand that even though we are at the edge of winter, you know, and here it comes. And I know for those of you in Southern California, winter is 75 degrees and you feel chilly and you're wearing your scarf. This is really at the time of year where we are acknowledging that winter is here and that we can't pretend it isn't. And I've already taken a couple of spills out on the snow in my flip-flops, thinking to myself, here I go again. It was the same night that I decided to slide my Jeep across a road, and I was like, woohoo! You know, I wasn't scared of that anymore. I was just like, I'm wearing flip-flops, and if the cops have to show up, I'm going to have to tell them they have to talk to me on the inside of my car or the inside of their car because my feet are going to freeze. Tuesday, we've got the death card in reverse, and this is a good thing. This is a card that coincides with Monday's Mars and Libra semi-sextiling Jupiter and Virgo, where we didn't really feel comfortable, but that was because we were being given all of these hints from the universe that it's time to transform. Get rid of the outmoded thinking. Get rid of the prejudice. Get rid of the politics. Get rid, unless you want to be one, grow up to be a politician then. You know, get rid of the religious boxes. Forget about what that all means. Remember that everyone bleeds. And then the death card shows up to say, yeah, this is true. Rita rocks so hard. Kidding. On Tuesday, we also have the Gemini moon in play. We also have the energy of just needing to let go of everything, from the idea that it's just going to be sunny, balmy summer forever, or that, you know, sooner or later we have to all say, look, you can have your holy book. I'll have mine. I don't want any, and she doesn't care. But we're all good, and let that transformation happen. The death card in reverse can also indicate that a person is resisting transformation. So it doesn't have to just be you, Taurus. In fact, I'm thinking on Tuesday, it is someone else close to you. Now, I'm not saying that this is a physical death that could manifest. Although people like me, I get weird dreams, and then I have to pick and choose which family member I tell this to. And I remembered the other day that I dreamt that I was having open heart surgery, but I was awake and laughing at the doctor's lack of concern about a blood vessel of mine was just spurting blood out, you could imagine. And I'm saying, isn't this important? And he says, no, are you kidding me? We've got bigger fish to fry. And I'm like, oh crap. So then I forgot about it. And I told my 17-year-old, I said, look, in case I'm dying or something, remember to tell them to look at my heart. If I'm in a coma, there's something wrong over here. And I tried to think, does it mean anyone else? Could it be somebody else in my family? Who would it be? It would have to be somebody close to me. My mother's already had, hi mom, she's already had her defibrillator implanted. And I'm like, oh crap, maybe I'm next, because I got a couple of doctors who don't know their asses from their faces. And I've been like, when I walk in and I know more than the doctor does, you know there's something wrong. And I have to sit there going, this doctor's too young to talk to. Wednesday, we've got the Eight of Wands. And this is a great thing because we're revving up to feeling like, okay, I can get past this. If I have a relative who's ill and they're not dealing with the real issue, which is probably the case with you guys, it could be for some of you that are resisting the last 80 pounds. I got to get rid of them, but I just don't want to let go of my pizza or my muffins. Whatever it is, it could be an issue such as this. Like, it's time to, we got to realize, even if you don't like the way you look when you're skinny, we got to drop the weight for the health. And my mom is a perfect one to talk about this. She hates being so tiny, maybe 98 pounds, 96, soaking wet. And she hates it. And I'm like, yeah, but you'll live longer than so many people. And so it could be a health issue that then becomes noticed. Or if you finally are like, I can't do anything about my sister. She refuses to understand that she's in a really bad health risk category. I'm done. I'm releasing it. Well, good. Release it, because it isn't even yours to do anything about. Let's say I've got a brother and he's a diabetic and he's tired, and I've noticed he's sick quite often. Okay, so he works in an office under high pressure and stress, and he's working with a bunch of people who could have snotty little children at home. He doesn't anymore. And so he's sick all the time. And I finally said the other day, you're sick again? Or is this the same virus? Is it almost gone? Is this a new one? What is this? And he was like, I'm just tired. And I said, well, vitamin C, Alex. And I realized that I can't stand there to make him drink vitamin C, or to test his blood, or to look at his nutritional intake, or to check all the vitamins in his house, or to know that he's getting any sleep. Is he drinking enough? I can't be there. All I can do is say, hey, so sick again, right? To try to make sense with it. So it could be that you are now, with the Eight of Wands, kind of moving away from this energy of the devil and the death card in reverse. Like, okay, so you know what? All right, if Donald Trump won't shut up, I don't care. I can turn him off if he shows up on the news. I cannot look at his face. I can print him out and throw darts at his head. Or poop, whatever it is that you want to do. You realize that you can make it go away all on your own. On Thursday, we have the Two of Wands in reverse, and this is Christmas Eve. Two of Wands in reverse is not a bad thing. This is just where I think you're going to agree to disagree, and it will be just fine. Isn't that what life is? We always bitch at the people closest to us, or the ones that we feel the safest with if we lose our shit, right? You're going to lose it with somebody close to you. When my mother has lost it with me, I go, well, she loves me because she knows I will not hate her, after this rant. So we tend to do that with people that we love and we're the closest to. Most people do. And this is also in a Gemini moon. So the kind of duality here is where I think you're accepting, yeah, it looks like I'll never get this convenience store worker to understand that, I speak English. I don't have a Laos Cambodian English to English Laos. We're trying to communicate. So I think I better frickin' learn American Sign Language. Maybe you're finally like, I understand that to function fully, we're going to go back to speaking the original two languages in the United States. What were they? Some form of Spanish, Indian influenced Mexican type of Spanish, and some Native, how? I know that's stereotypical, but we're going to have to figure out something that involves just, drawing pictures. Maybe we need to go back to hieroglyphs. And this is where you're like, I'm going to have to just do it this way. Look, I drew you a picture. I need a tampon. No, this isn't a wine cork. I need tampon. Can you imagine having to sign that to somebody behind a counter? We'll just deal with it, because this is where you could finally realize, hey, I can't do anything about it anyway. So up there, how do you sign menstruation? So Venus in Scorpio sextiles Jupiter and Virgo, Venus being in your solar 7th house of marriage and partnership, sextiling this Jupiter and Virgo, your solar fifth house. For those of you that are single, this could really work for you. For those of you that are single and hoping to take it to a next level, and I should say single but dating, and the only thing missing is like maybe a ring and a commitment, or freaking, I don't know what people do anymore. What do? Wear a spaghetti strainer and swear on the book of the, flying spaghetti monster? Whatever people do, this is really where it could move to that level. It's sextile energy, so we have an opportunity. For those of you that are not dating but are in committed relationships, this could be really where you accept each other's hobbies and where you support each other and say, look, you go learn to play the bagpipes because I'm knitting a sweater over here. And then you guys actually work together to be more accepting of your need for personal space even. And this is where we get a moon and void of course. So the moon will be void of course Christmas Eve. So I suggest if you haven't bought what you need to, and it really is an imperative, don't go out into the streets, especially in the United States. Have you seen some of those Walmart videos where people get trampled because somebody wants a box of, I don't know, what are they selling that could be that important? Ass implants, or like, what do people do at Walmart that is so important that you have to trample people to get it? I would just stay the hell away from it until about mid-February. But the moon is void, of course. You're probably not going to make a very good decision, or you can end up buying two things going, well, I don't know, I'll just return the sweater that she won't wear. Or maybe it's like my mom and she knows I won't wear anything scratchy, or I am the weirdest person to buy gifts for, because pretty much the best thing to give me is a kitchen or bath towel, white, so that I can bleach it. That's good enough. That way there's no personalization involved. Or I suppose you could bring me a bottle of water and I'd think that that is fantastic. So you might just end up making difficult decisions like buying two of something, and then I guarantee you're going to be the one who paid for it cash, who lost the receipt, who couldn't get it returned, and it will show up in 8 months when you cannot return it, and you're going to end up having to give it away to somebody like me who won't wear it because it's from Walmart and it's scratchy. So there could be also the element of surprise and anticipation, and I don't think it's going to be a bad thing. Don't freak out, Taurus. I am also a fixed sign. I understand your stubbornness because you're talking to your polar opposite, but the thing we share is stubbornness. I can do it just like you can. Probably uglier too. You guys just stand still like the bull in the china shop. I just go crazy and unleash like the titans on people. So just remember that there are surprises and surprising energy, anticipation, even if you're like, I'm just here alone with my dogs, like Rita. That's what she does. She's alone with her dog. And then you just feel like, I know something great is coming. Well, look, you could be visited by alien life form. That's all I really, for Christmas, please come visit me. I've spent time by the fields hoping for crop circles. I have put aluminum over my head just because I thought it might work. And, they should come visit me. Maybe they will come visit you. On Friday, we have the Eight of Cups in reverse, and this is a card that indicates returning to more traditional and more safe and more cozy feeling vibes. This isn't like returning to a bad situation or anything like that. It could be that a lot of you find yourselves going home for Christmas, or if you're homeless, that you go to a shelter where you're going to get a good meal, where they're going to give you space and some towels to take a shower. And I mean that very seriously, because a lot of people are tired and embarrassed and feeling leveled, and they won't go. You don't have to be Catholic to go to Catholic church to get help. You don't have to be Mormon to show up at the Mormon Happy Temple. Okay, just show up. If you need help, ask for it, because they're just dying to help you. Especially the Mormons, they won't even try to convert you or anything. They just want to love you. And it isn't because they're collecting brownie points. They just really want to love you. They just really want to help you. They're not going to, maybe they'll give you a Book of Mormon. Okay, keep it as a souvenir, whatever. They just really love people. So this could be returning back into the fold, or for some of you who have been away from people that you know for a long time, you might go back into them. If you are the one who doesn't go anywhere and you're like, Rita, but what did it all mean? Well, I think you're going to realize that you're going within, and maybe you were thinking about some past Christmas experiences, or maybe you have some dreams about your early home life, or maybe you wake up and you see your mother's face and you're nursing and you're like, Mom, and don't bite her. It could be that kind of thing where you have some very primitive kind of dreams and feelings about the idea of home and what that means to you. It's a full moon in Cancer as well at 3 degrees, and that will trine Neptune which I love. It makes fantasies beautiful and dreams hopeful, and of course deception and intrigue, right? But not in this case. I think this full moon is really giving us that beautiful edge, that quality to the Christmas season when we say screw it. It doesn't have to be about anything other than just feeling the love from the divine, and that might be where you're getting it from, that Neptune energy. I think it's like one of the energies that I think you're going to remember in a little bit of a different way, more tactile than the other signs. I think that you'll associate it. Look, you guys could associate it with a cake, and that would be spiritual enough. I know what you guys are like, foodie things. And not all of them, but you could actually have this realization that your friends and you, even if it's the one dog or the one old lady that showed up at the door with the cookies. We had some people show up at the door with cookies. Some kids, my son told me, I was about to take a shower, and I'm like, what did they want? What did they mean? How'd they know we were here? How do they know you're here? And he was like, I don't know. Maybe they were just bringing cookies. And I was like, oh, Neptune moment. Neptune. They all ate the cookies. I didn't eat the cookies, but I was looking at my watch thinking, is anybody going to die tonight? Saturday, we have the Hermit card for you. And this is a card that indicates that you do have some realizations, some spiritual, if not a higher self type of aha moments where you realize, you know what? Even if I'm not perfect and this Christmas isn't perfect and, my butt isn't perfect, really in the end of all things, you can say, but this moment in my existence that I'm present and in this conscious awareness, regardless of which dimension it's happening in, because if you're getting this message, we're at least in similar dimensions, or I have accomplished something incredible and, pierced the dimensional veil of communication via technology. Maybe something like that has happened. But I think that this is where you have a moment where you realize, pretty much nothing matters. I think that you'll be reflecting a little bit more based on the sun's recent parallel to Mercury, which again kind of boosts you with the surprise revelation, and it could be via a communication from somebody close to you. Uranus will go direct in Aries, and it will make it just a wonderful Christmas. You'll see. Stay away from the people that talk about politics, and I think you guys are going to be fine. On Sunday, we've got the Hanged Man in reverse, which is fantastic. We're coming off of the energy of Mars in Libra, semi-squaring Saturn in Sagittarius, where again, kind of the lesson is understanding that you may be married to a troll. You could be in business with an ass. You might have to share space with somebody who makes you feel like nails on a chalkboard. And then you realize that it's okay, because even in a frustration that a semi-square can create, it isn't a major tense kind of aspect. It is still tense though. This is almost psychologically a weaker version of a square. And with that, you could get some insight, and I'm going to warn you a little bit. You could get some precognitive information. It might be that you're thinking, man, this man will never die. Is that what the thing is? I'm just going to, yerba mala nunca muere. And so you could be thinking to yourself, I have made a commitment to stay in even this dysfunctional relationship, situation, partnership, cohabitation, sexual dysfunction. Whatever that is, you understand that this is a conscious choice that you've made. It doesn't mean that you can't change your mind. If you call me and say, Rita, I had a definitive moment. I realized I do not want to be married to this son of a bitch a day longer. Go for it. Do whatever you need to do. I would give yourself some time to let it sink in. If it's a revelation that you need to end, hopefully not end someone, right? But where you need to end a partnership, that's okay too. The transformative process in here is what you want it to be. For those of you who have the realization and say, no, Rita, really it's more like Venus and Scorpio, semi-sextiling Mars and Libra. Okay, don't kill anybody. I still think that this is where you could have this realization that, again, it's a conscious choice that you've made, that even if you're uncomfortable with this person year after year, they're the same. Or even if you could honestly say that this individual is the bane of your existence, and you know that your weakness has kept you prisoner, Maybe, and if you're like Rita, and I'm 78 years old, it's not like I really feel like, well, look, I do want to divorce him, but I'd have guilt over, strangers spoon feeding him applesauce at the home. I understand that too. Fulfill your obligation, but you're going to need to still reconcile this with, are you all right with this in a spiritual way? It isn't as heavy as it sounds. I just know for you guys, you're going to be like, really? I feel constipated with this heaviness. Well, maybe you just need to take a laxative, but it could be, Taurus, that the entire message for the tension that was not directly associated with Christmas and the usual combatants is that this is a situation that you've experienced and that you might continue to hold on to it voluntarily, but you'll be able to look at it in a different light, even for those of you who are single and choose to stay that way, where you say, because you know what? I'm happiest when I am with myself. And in the end, even if you're with a bunch of ugly people that you can't stand and they're nasty and mean, you'll realize that you are the light unto yourself and that the light never leaves you. Have a wonderful holiday season. I'll be talking to you soon.